Итак, мы начинаем нашу первую дискуссию касательно FOS-систем. Как я уже говорил, я считаю, что это очень важные, присаживайтесь, это очень важные...
Hello, test.
Yeah.
Hi. How are you doing? Thank you.
Это очень важные системы, которые управляются... You can sit, please. Sit down. Yeah. Это очень важные системы, которые управляют, в принципе, всем рабочим процессом авиакомпаний. И в этом году вот впервые мы пригласили всех, я бы сказал, таких... все самые главные компании Европы, которые занимаются вот этими решениями SaaS. И я представлю, Maxim, они управляют в том числе и флотом, например, «Авангарда» с этого года. Leon Software, это польская компания, они управляют флотом множества компаний, в том числе такими крупными, как например, вашими. Ну да, они управляют в России, например, Вильталь, G24, а основным там хедлайнерами на Западе для них являются, вот, подскажи мне, пожалуйста. Да, Global Jet, да, с этого года Global Jet, вот, я имею в виду, подскажи бывшее место, чтобы я вспомнил, вот, Global Jet и другие крупные операторы. Компания Nuvolar с этого года разрабатывает решение для всего флота Lux Aviation, то есть это тоже очень интересный будет интегратор, который будет управлять очень большим флотом, вот, поэтому я думаю, что мы начинаем, и, в принципе, я готов передать слово нашим гостям. И I would like to start with all our participants. And Maxim, could you please introduce yourself and your company and how you started your business? Because I would say Skylegs quite young company on the market.
For sure. Thank you, Evgeny. I hope everyone can hear me correctly. I wished I still had my translation device before, but
yeah.
Don't worry. Those guys are doing a great job. Thanks for that, because I don't speak any Russian. I arrived yesterday from Belgium, and my name is Maxim, managing director of Skylegs. And also, my second job, let's say, is also I'm flying as a pilot on a Falcon 2000. Flying for a company who does the gas and oil industry, and that means that often, well, let's say once a year, I come to Russia, to Moscow, and I like it very much because I like the city and the people. And so this makes me having a unique perspective of running a software company, and also, in fact, being scheduled by my software to fly the plane. And that's why it makes me being a bit of a critic, let's say, because I want to have it very efficiently and good, and that we try to implement in our software. And the software is cloud-based. It's a flight management system. That's, I think, the last terminology recently. A few have passed by because the modules are quite broad. Our customers, they are aircraft operators, and they fly business aircraft privately, corporate, or commercially with an AOC, or they fly cargo operations, medical, these kind of mostly unscheduled operations. And our modules, they actually are pretty broad because they will link all the departments of an operations. And we also integrate with other great systems like Aviapages to bring a whole solution for the operator. So that, in short, in fact, is a bit what Skylegs does. And I'm sure I can tell more later if there are more questions.
Developments, because you know that the scheduler system, it's normal for such a system, but maybe you would like to introduce something interesting with the new ideas, with maybe something new to the market. because I will ask everyone with this question, because for me it's very interesting why I'm like a client need to choose, for example, your system, and why I need to choose you, because this market is very competitive, I would say. Flex started, I would say, about seven years ago, and they made a lot of steps to get more clients, and the Lion software, they are on the market for years, and they have a good reputation. What are you going to offer to the market, and what is your future?
Yeah, you're perfectly right. It's quite an interesting market. So I need to watch out because the walls have ears, I would say. But we actually have a good understanding with all of us, with Pawel and Paolo, and actually Mark I didn't met yet, but I'm sure this will happen in the near future. Nice to see you virtually. So we are in speaking terms. I mean, we respect a lot each other. And I think it's quite important for the operator to understand what their specific needs are, because each tool has their own unique differentiators. And with Skylegs, in fact, we try to have very dedicated modules per department, which are user-friendly, which integrate with other systems for the whole solution, which I talked before. This user-friendliness is very difficult to make, because to make something simple, one needs to think hard. And to maybe tell you a secret, we are developing the 5th generation of user interface of Skylegs, and that's one big project we are working on, especially also new integrations, because that's also very important to be open to other great systems, and these kind of topics. I would also like to make an analogy with an aircraft, in fact, with a cockpit of an aircraft. So, because in the cockpit, you get instruments and you control the plane. And in fact, I see our platform a bit similar. We used to have gauges, old dials, and in the operations sense, they used to have paper, Excel sheets, all these kind of things, email, and we saw an evolution in the cockpit going to digital, to screens, and the same with the software. We go into automation with software like ours, like all 4 of us. And that's an analogy I would like to discuss further, maybe later with the different questions.
Okay, thank you. So, and the next question is to Pawel from Leon Software. I would say they one of the biggest companies on the market with such a solution. Pawel, could you please introduce yourself and your company and tell us maybe a little bit more about your developments and maybe some news?
Yes, hello everybody. I'm Paweł Kruk from Leon Software. So briefly speaking, we have started Leon 14 years ago, 2006 or 2007. Actually, I don't remember exactly the date, but it was made by accident, I must say. It wasn't a plan. At that time on the market, there were no tools which were cloud-based, and our assumption was that cloud-based software will gradually replace the desktop solutions, because of course softwares which are present on the market right now are not very new to the industry. We have past generation of the software which is not so up to date, so we are not reinventing the wheel. We are just creating what have been done in the past, but in a better cloud-based, more sophisticated way. So my origin is I was a dispatcher then, and I was also airline pilot and business charter pilot. And at the very beginning, I just wanted to make work easier. Like Maxim said, we were running pen and paper, and we wanted to make it easier and a little bit better than Excel spreadsheet. So the first idea was to make it cloud, and then it started from there, I would say. So that was the beginning, and now we are serving different types of customers. Business aviation is our main target audience, I would say, but also we service scheduled operators, trip support companies, and cargo operators. Those are typical customers of Leon. Yeah, so that would be for the introduction.
Okay, thank you very much. And so I would ask the next question the same to Marc-Anthony, to Nuvolar. They are from Barcelona, and could you please tell us more about your company and how did you start it, all your business?
Absolutely. Yeah, first of all, Privyat, Moscow, and I'd like to thank actually Aviapages for hosting this event and inviting me and Nuvolar to speak today. So yeah, I'm Marc-Anthony Padula. I've been actually working for Nuvolar for over 10 years and currently the CEO of the Nuvolar software division. And the Nuvolar software division, of course, we specialize in creating our flight management system called Nuvolar. And it's a project that started about 11 to 12 years ago. And it was actually started on one of the industry's, let's say, most powerful platforms, which is Salesforce's Force.com platform. And Salesforce invests heavily in the technology and the platform. And so the idea was to bring this technology to business aviation. And of course, over the years, we started implementing it across different operators in a very, very large aircraft management group. At Nuvolar, of course, well, Nuvolar being one of the bigger, let's say, parts of our business, but we also have two other divisions at Nuvolar. One of them actually specializes in software development in general for other product companies within aviation. And we also have, with all of our experience with Salesforce, we also are involved in standard Salesforce implementations across various industries and other organizations. So that's a little bit of the introduction of the company. Of course, I think similar to Leon, Flex, and like Maxim was saying for Skylegs, our flight management system is across the various departments of an aircraft management company, right? So it helps really to manage different processes in charter, in ops, customer experience, flight operations, etc.
Okay. Thank you, Marc-Anthony. And now I would like to ask the same question to Paolo from Flex. So they are, I would say, one of the new stars of this market, and they are working with a lot of companies from US, and they started about 7, maybe 8 years ago. So Paolo, could you please introduce your company and tell us more about the Flex and the concept?
Yes, good afternoon, and thank you very much for this great introduction. I hope we can stand by it. So, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I can see you through a little camera. And so what Flex is about, and sorry, I have to correct you very slightly. We actually had our 10th anniversary last year. So Flex is already 11 years old. Thank you. It was hard, but like all company, it is a lot of work to grow them, and time does fly. Am I allowed to share the screen? And I'll put a couple of pictures to help explain. Is that okay?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So yeah, but I can't share the screen. So will you allow me, or you can't? I'm forbidden from sharing the screen. Well, I will do it without the.
So Paolo,
Yeah.
can you please try right now to share?
Okay. Now it works.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay, so 11 years in business, and just a couple of numbers here. Yeah, we've been basically scaling up year after year. Now we're 45 people. We're distributed in 21 countries. We've been working remote ever since the beginning. And so really COVID did not change anything in the way we work because we use online tools for everything. This year, we've been averaging 15 new features per week. If that's any measure of how fast we improve on our product. We started last year in the US with a partner. Now we're building our own infrastructure in the US, hiring sales and support and customer success people. We've reached 5,000 mobile users. That's actually 2020. All these numbers are from last year. Yeah. So 5,000 mobile users on our apps. We sent 2 million sales quotes, and we passed 100 integrated services. So we're spread on all continents now. At a glance of our customers, we have a lot of very significant large customers. We also have a lot of customers that have 1 or 2 aircraft. We like all customers in business aviation, and not only. So charter operators are clearly the core of our market from the beginning, but we have now a lot of corporate flight departments. That's especially in the US, of course. We have a number of trip support companies. And in special operations, we have customers that work in cargo, air, ambulance, some very big ones in air ambulance. We also have military operators. We have training operations, and we also have a couple of sovereign flight departments, which of course we're not allowed to talk about. Clay Lacy is probably the biggest project we can talk about now. There's a couple more large operators that are coming on board as we speak, and we'll announce them later in the year. That was an amazing project. It lasted a year and a half, and it covers everything from charter, private, Part 121, maintenance, FBO, fueling, you name it. We've built hundreds of features to fit their specific needs, and that's really what we like to do. The way we're structured, it's a platform, it's a set of mobile apps, and it's a number of service integrations. In terms of the platform, well, it's an online platform. It contains everything: sales and accounting, dispatch, documents, crew maintenance, reporting, crew travel, you name it. Everything is included. Then we have appendix mobile apps for everyone. We chose to make vertical apps for each role. Here you see the 4 historical ones. There is more joining the family very soon, and the entire family of apps, we believe, will reach about 15 vertical apps. And that should be completed by the end of next year. In terms of integrations, well, it's very clear. We cover all the bases, but we don't do everything very, very deeply. So we do rely on a lot of specialists in the market, and it's over 100 now. And sorry, this is not meant to show up here. Here are some of our integrations where we have over 100 now that are in service, and we bring to life a few new ones every month, and that's really on request from our customers. And this is where I am right now in Vienna. So come and say hello if you pass by Vienna.
Paolo, thank you very much for the introduction. So it was a great presentation. And briefly, I would like to ask you the question. How do you think the systems, the flight operating system, changed the market last 3-5 years? Because you have very important point of view on the market, and you in the core of the flight. How does it change, and how it developed through these years?
Well, that could be a very, very long and windy story, but I think that the main points are that, well, first of all, it's a clear win for the online solutions. Right. I'm not so familiar with Nuvolar and Marc-Anthony. I hope to meet you very soon, but I know very well what Pawel is doing, and Skylegs as well. And we are clearly the online players, and that is the big change. Until 5 or 6 years ago, people did not want online solutions. They wanted client servers, or better yet, a server inside their office. I think it's now acquired that we have the security level, and we have the need actually to distribute the information across to the entire enterprise. And so online is clearly the winner. That goes again with a lot of scrutiny on security. We work very, very heavily on that. I suppose the others as well, but I am surprised that I never get any questions on that subject. And I think that people should ask questions. So one thing that we should do is promote also a lot more interest in this aspect. The second part is the growth of online servers. So Amazon Web Services, Azure, and what have you. There is a lot of offer out there. It has become very cheap. In fact, when we started in 2010, we had our own servers. We had a rack with pizza boxes. And every year we worked out what's the price of running our pizza boxes and maintaining them and buying new one versus buying services from Amazon Web Services. And in 2015 or 16, we found that the curves crossed. The prices were dropping for online services. And at that point, we decided that online was the way to go, and we dropped our service. So in the space of 6 months, we recreated our entire infrastructure on Amazon Web Services, on Vultr, on Azure, on a number of different providers to have redundancy. And we've been there ever since. And we could never manage to sell those pizza boxes. We had to give them away.
Okay. Thank you. So on the same question to the Pawel, because they are one of the oldest companies on the market, and how had the system changed during the 3-5 years? And maybe you can, Pawel, you can share the new products do you plan to integrate to your system?
Yes, of course. So I agree with Paolo in terms of this revolution that has changed the landscape of our software industry, that now we are serving solutions which are online. And what I would say from our perspective has changed in the last 3 to 5 years is that we noticed within our software that we need to have a sales module in order to be a complete solution, because we started as mainly an ops tool. So right now, if any software would like to compete effectively on this market, some set of modules is minimum. So we developed sales from scratch like 3 years ago, and now we have it. So this is a big change we introduced last time, and also improved a lot in terms of crew planning, and a lot in terms of customization. Because what we have noticed, once you have a lot of customers, we have right now over 280 customers. So of course, this is a business of scale. So it's impossible to deliver very customized solutions to every single customer. In fact, of course, this is very similar business, so those customers should have similar expectations. But this is a theory, because sometimes they want different document layout, different email templates. There are many differences between themselves. So it was very challenging for us to make it easier for our customers to customize the software the way they want to use it, instead of dedicating our IT departments to code this. So we did implement a couple of years ago a lot of those very customized tools, like for example, our customers can create their own document templates, their own email templates. They can run very customized reports. So we went this path because we wanted to lower our customer support cost per customer to be able to hold the price. So that was a big change. And so generally speaking, tools for customization. And you asked me about new products. So let me maybe shortly say our assumption about the market. So before I tell about that, so 10 years ago or so, the industry started to be crazy about Uber for aviation. I mean, probably, I am aware that among visitors here are a lot of brokers. So there were so many attempts to remove brokers from the chain of supply. Yes. So there was this idea of B2C marketplace, so that end user will book a flight directly from their mobile phone, omitting brokers. We didn't believe this idea. I still don't believe in this idea. I think brokers are a very important part of the chain of supply on the market. And we realized that there is a gap on the market a little bit in terms of CRM for brokers. And we have already, Leon is already a very sophisticated tool for operators. So we decided to launch Leon for brokers as well. And we are launching it very soon. I think in November we will launch it officially. So this is the first time I'm announcing this in public, that we are also launching a Leon for brokers. Another thing which might be interesting for you is that we launched recently, in cooperation with Mirai Flights, ability for our customers to charge their customers in Bitcoins. So we feel that Bitcoin is kind of new technology. It has it's a hot topic, a lot of traction there, and it seems that there are more. Actually, I thought at the very beginning, that it will be just a marketing news. I thought in the very beginning, okay, we'll do those Bitcoins because it's a hot topic, but I'm not very keen on actually believing that there are lots of payments to this. But eventually, we realized that actually people are started to pay with Bitcoin. So this is happening right now, and we want to be allowing that. So that's another thing we launched, and of course a lot of small features, but I will not go into details with some small features. But generally speaking, at the end of this year, we will announce big improvement to our infrastructure model. What Paolo said, I completely agree with him, that there are too little questions about security. I think this is a very important topic, that operators from business aviation market should ask those questions. Airlines are regularly asking these questions. We are also servicing airlines, and we are being forced somehow, to put higher mark on security. And we are going to implement those measures also to business aviation market as well, because this is the same platform. So at the end of the year, we will reveal some new technology behind which we are working on 2 years at least already, and this will be new. So yeah, that's my 3 cents to the discussion.
Thank you, Pavel. And I would like to ask.
Can I make a couple of comments on that?
Yes.
I think it's very important. Thanks, Pavel.
This is discussion, Paolo. It's discussion. You can ask and you can comment.
Good. Couple of things because thanks, Pavel, for picking up the issue on security. Because one thing that we've seen very often is issues with email. Emails being hijacked. I mean, we can take care of all the security of sending quotes and crew travel and whatever is managed inside the platform, but then email is outside our realm, and we've had a number of issues with security over email there. So please take care of your own security. We're here to help as well. Good point on brokers as well. We also have some broker customers. I think that the idea is that these platforms have to serve everybody in the market. We're not in to change the market model. We're there to serve the market. And even though clearly there is an evolution in the models, I agree with Pavel. Yeah, brokers are there to stay and for a good reason. I disagree though on the item of reports in particular. And I do believe, and that's the feedback at least I get, is that operators don't want to sit there and do their own reports. They want to tell us, hey, do this report for me. We have a bunch of standard ones, but hey, I have this custom need. And I know nobody's ever willing to pay for that. So that's an issue. And it costs a lot of money to create these things and then support them. It's hard to communicate. It's hard to really convey the idea of how much it actually does cost. So we're still pushing for the other model, being custom on that. And another thing clearly is Bitcoin payments. I'm glad you mentioned that because clearly that is the future. By the way, everybody should make note that today is the day that for the first time a country is adopting Bitcoin as legal tender. That's happening as we speak today in El Salvador, right?
Yeah.
So I think this is a huge first, and I look forward to the day that Wikipedia will have the list of countries that accept Bitcoin as a legal tender.
And I have a question to every one of you, and maybe it's kind of provocation, but what do you think? So you gathering the clients around your ecosystem, as I heard from Paolo and from Pawel. So you on the way you understood that you need to create something more than just a scheduling system for the companies, and you started to make ecosystem with the different reports and different services. So, and what do you think about building something and something more than just your company? Because if we go to the future, anyway, you need to communicate between each other, I would say, to build the new market, because now you divided between each other, and your clients, Paolo and Pawel and Skylegs, Maxim and Marc, they divided the clients. But if we're speaking about the future, they need to communicate if you are trying to provide the new solution for the brokers, because if the broker is working in the ecosystem, they need more than just your clients. What do you think about it? And maybe you have some ideas how to communicate to each other.
If I can
just Maxim.
So indeed, and actually, we already have common customers with, in fact, Leon, for instance. So it highly depends on the needs of the operator. And I strongly believe that probably in the future, our systems will also talk to each other, and we shouldn't shy away from that. And even if I may go a bit more futuristic, what my vision is for the next 5 to 10 years even, is that I did a computer-based training recently for a small side project of a Cirrus Vision jet. I don't know if you know this plane. It's the smallest jet you can buy today. This thing has one button to automatically land the plane, and it can be used by the passenger, in fact. And then the plane does everything itself. It navigates, it circumnavigates weather, it finds the correct airport, it lands, it stops on the runway, and the passengers can disembark. It's an amazing technology. And that's where we're going to. And as a pilot, it's difficult to say, but honestly, we're going to single pilot commercial operations. And this can only be acquired thanks to a direct communication link to the ground office. So linking the ground office to the cockpit, for us at Skylegs, this is something we see in the far future, even going as far as autonomous flying, but that's another topic. We're not much into Bitcoins as my colleagues, but this other thing, artificial intelligence and these kind of technologies is what we are chasing.
Okay. Paolo? The same question about the brokers ecosystem and the communication between different companies.
Well, I think, I think that we're all three platforms. There's probably some interesting overlaps in the future. But what I can say, what we're doing is building an ecosystem. And the ecosystem is for us to cover all the bases in a very simple way for any job that anyone at an operator, at a broker, at a maintenance center does, and where there is some specialist doing that already, we interface with them. Mm-hmm. The idea is that any job that's connected to sending up an airplane in the air is covered seamlessly. You don't have to open another window. You don't have to log into another system. You just have one screen and you can pilot your entire operations in a single screen. We're not very far from that, but I think that the interesting part, besides the full integration of every single system, is really keep on adding optimization. I like to say that as a company, we digitize, automate, and optimize aviation. And digitization is what we did for the first years. We were finding Excel sheets and Post-it notes and emails and all sorts of documents all over the place, and we put them in a database. And so we put all that in order. Once that's in order, then you can start automating things, if this, then that. And once you've automated things, then you have KPIs. And once you have KPIs, then you can optimize based on those KPIs. So if I want to improve a flight, the natural thing is I want it to be cheaper. Okay, well, that's one thing. But maybe somebody doesn't care about the money. They just want to get there fast. Or maybe somebody cares about comfort. I want to be comfortable. So, well, route me around any weather. I want to look out the window and see blue skies. Okay, it's going to take an extra 2 hours. If that's what you want, I'll give it to you. Right. And this is just to use that as the picture, which is pretty obvious to everyone. But there's a lot of things that can be actually improved and optimized across the board. And I think that that goes under the chapter of AI, artificial intelligence, which is a big name for really optimization. So we're working very hard to understand what the KPIs are and how to treat them. And the idea is that we need to gather as many variables as possible so that we can provide optimization to all the teams. And ultimately, that gives faster service to the customer and better quality service. And that's a reduction in costs. And let me explain one thing here, that people always think that technology is going to substitute people, and that's absolutely not true. It substitutes a lot of tasks that people do. But typically, if you look at history, every time a technology has come in, the people doing those tasks didn't go away. They upgraded their work. They started doing stuff that's more interesting and more high value, and they stopped doing silly stuff like copy paste, right? I like to say we do millions and billions of copy paste operations every year. And I'm sure that nobody is being dramatic about the fact that we took that out of their hands. I'm sure everyone is super happy of that.
Okay, thank you, Paul, for this answer. And maybe, Pavel, you would like to add something about this?
Yeah, just please correct me if I'm wrong. Your question was initially that brokers. Can you repeat your question, actually?
Yeah.
Sorry.
What do you think about this product for the brokers? Because if you're
I see.
serving,
Okay.
if you're serving some operator, you have all the ecosystem inside. But if you're serving the brokers, you need to communicate to each other, to Skylegs, to Flex, to other system, to provide them all the information in the world. So how do you think how you're going to deal to each other?
Okay, so basically speaking, what we can solve for brokers. So the first question of, well, we need to say clearly that Avinode is the dominant player on the market in terms of marketplace, right? You log into Avinode to search for flights, and this will stay like it is. And our added value for brokers is actually they can use Leon for brokers as a CRM tool connected to Avinode, so search within all the database from Avinode, and Avinode has already all the schedule from Skylegs, from Flex, from whoever is on the market, because this is the central point. I am not saying here that brokers will have another way of doing this, but we have also some additional information about the flight, for example. So let's say it is very often the case when the broker is calling operator and asking what is the stage of preparation of the flight, right? And this is going back and forth. So we have this information in our system. So it's very easy to transfer this information to the broker. So if the broker would use Leon, then if the broker would order a flight from Leon customer, and there is quite a high probability he would, because we have a lot of them, at least in Europe. So then he wouldn't need to communicate with the operator on a constant basis regarding, for example, slots, handling arranged, permits already arranged. He could paste a list of passengers by himself instead of sending those via emails. As Paolo said previously, email is a very sensitive stuff. So we are kind of violating every single GDPR rules by sending unencrypted messages through email. So it would be rather better for operator, because they would be able to save the time, also for broker to upload their own passenger list through scans or manually. So, what brokers would benefit from us is that we are at the same time servicing Leon for operators. So we have all the data operators are putting into our system, and we can communicate those data to brokers. And that's the main difference, and that's the main benefit, I would say. Of course, apart from the fact that brokers would have CRM tool for managing their own communication with their own customers, searching the history of the flight. So yeah, this is the idea. So we'll see how it goes, because this is a fairly new concept from ourselves. And we came to this conclusion because actually every operator, usually a lot of operators are also brokers. So if they want to subcharter a flight, they act like a broker. So we had to develop some tools for brokers anyway. So if we had to develop that, why can we allow this for brokers to access Leon directly and connect dots with operators somehow to exchange this basic information? So I guess that would be those would be the benefits.
Okay, thank you very much. And I would like to ask the last question to everyone. Maybe someone of you would like to add something, and we will finish our discussion. 3 minutes to speak to the auditory and to say something about your company, or maybe new developments, and what do you think is important for the next years with all this digitalization? Starting from Maxim, for example.
More great functionalities together with Aviapages, I would say. I mean, you guys also have great products and they are very complementary. So let's do that further together. And then also I agree with Pawel and Paolo on the subcharter process should be improved with reducing the amount of information shared via email. All these kind of topics have a definite need where we will also be working on.
Okay, Mark, maybe you would like to say something because we spoke with all three companies, but Mark, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here. Right. So from Nuvolar's perspective, and I agree with Paolo and Pawel and Maxim as well, that security is a big topic, and like Maxim and Paolo said, sort of reducing email and finding better ways of communicating between companies, and of course, that could also mean when it comes to subcharter and operators kind of working together, more integration in the future between our systems. When it comes to the Nuvolar system built on the Force.com platform by Salesforce, a lot of the latest security features kind of come out of the box. And on our side, probably in the next few quarters, we're going to have quite some interesting features coming out. I think similar to Skylegs, in the next quarters, we will have a new and modern user interface. Being on the Force.com platform, it allows us to easily kind of tailor it and customize it for different operators. So that's one of the big things coming soon. And we're also in the process of soon to be released. This is the first time it's also mentioned anywhere. A new FTL scheduling engine as a service for all the different FTLs of course at the global level. In terms of the future, really interesting, like Paolo was saying with cryptocurrency, definitely that is the future. We haven't dabbed into it yet, but I think as operators start getting interested and our clients start getting interested in that, I'm sure it will kind of fall on us to also look at how to integrate it, and definitely within business aviation, the eVTOL flights are going to be a big thing in the next, I think, 5 to 10 years, and meeting that with latest IT solutions, with a lot more automation and artificial intelligence will be key to meet those demands. And so that's something that we are also keeping an eye on. Thank you.
Thank you. So Paolo, Pawel, would you like to add something?
Yeah, I can add one thing, because I guess Maxim told previously that we share sometimes the same customers, and although we are competitors, we need to cooperate for those customers. And I am at least aware about one big customer who is using Flex and, for example, Leon at the same time. And I guess there are more cases like that. So what I tried to do actually a couple of months ago, and it is also on EBAA level, is we do a couple of different initiatives in terms of bringing the community of different software vendors together in order to find common language in terms of exchanging information with each other. So this is also not just a theory. We are competitors, but we need to find a way for those integrations to be made simpler, faster, because as Paolo mentioned, they have 100 integrations. We have also a lot of integrations, and the market is basically, the current market is very fragmented. I mean, operators often request for out-of-the-box solution. They want to have everything in one software package, but this is not the reality, and I don't suspect it will be the reality. The IT software is generally going into microservices, basically, where you have very specialized tools with the proper communication between themselves. So I think this is the direction the software will go as well. We have more and more software vendors specialized in very small things, and I think it's important for the industry, for the software vendors to find a common language in terms of distributing this information and talking to each other. So this is also our new initiative together with EBAA about that. So this may be my final word. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Paolo?
Yes, well, yes, of course, we're churning out 15 new features every week. That's going to increase. We're in the process of doubling again our company. So we're going from 40 some people by the beginning of the year. We should be double that. A lot of it is dedicated to development. So I suppose that this 15 features a week is going to double as well. I mentioned we're building a lot of new mobile apps. So our family of 15 mobile apps, and maybe more, will see the light of day gradually over the next months. And then the integrations, we have over 100. We're looking at the next 100 and counting, really depending on what our customers desire. Now we've added another pillar to our growth, and we're going into the other verticals around the market. And so let me put this picture up. There is a lot of suppliers around, and they have some good apps in some markets, some mediocre or not so good apps in other markets. And so even though we like to integrate with everyone, we're also recognizing that in some markets, people are underserved. And we know very well on the side of the operator how the conversation works for these apps. So we're very keen to start building different apps for different verticals that can be in brokers or FBOs, fueling, insurance, you name it. We've investigated some 25, almost 30 verticals that we want to go into. We're not going to go into all of them by ourselves. In some, we're drawing up partnerships, but these are partnerships that go beyond simply integration. And so we're looking to occupy the entire aviation space over the next months and years.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for Maxim. Thank you for Paolo, Pawel, and Mark. Thanks that you had this invitation for this discussion, and see you soon, I would say, because we have very tough communication between each other, and we are going to speak on Friday on this platform about the new protocol. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Evgeny and Nastya.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, and thank you
very much
for organizing this. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Спасибо большое. На самом деле для нас это новый формат был. В прошлом году у нас было подключение из Милана, но вот так, чтобы из разных городов у нас такого не было. Я надеюсь, что это было интересно. Это на самом деле вот самое ядро авиакомпании, где они формируют рейсы. И сейчас будет перерыв, кофе-брейк, минут 15-20. После этого будет там мое короткое выступление на 10 минут и следующая дискуссия по новым проектам 2021. Соберемся через полчаса снова. Спасибо.